I said, give me a hell yeah.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a sportsmanship promoting, screwball drinking. It's peanut butter whiskey, guys. You got to get on this. Heavy machinery celebrating. Oh yeah! Behind the scenes of Mark Callaway exploring episode of the Brothers discussion. We're gonna talk everything, man, from the Money in the Bank fallout, dive into another edition of the Wednesday Night Wars, and who knows, maybe even more. Who knows what kind of time we're going to have. We got a potential baby wake up. We got Mike going to work. All sorts of great stuff. Matt, how the heck are you?
Yeah, we gotta stop telling people that we have podcasts so that we can do this during the day. I'm doing fantastic. I thought we watched one of the best Money in the Bank matches ever. And I have no qualms about saying that. My eyeball's feeling better. I've been putting goo in it. I gotta put goo in it for the foreseeable future. Doctor actually said 3 months of goo.
3 months of goo?
3 months of goo into my eyeball.
Wow.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty good for our two favorites, Dozovic and McIntyre, because there's no way McIntyre's losing to Baron Corbin. So, yeah, let me remind everybody to head on over to BoDpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com to check out all the awesome content. Like, one of these days, blogs are going back up there. I think of ideas all the time. I swear I do. And they just don't manifest themselves.
It's tough.
I'm hoping...
Life gets in the way. I know.
Yeah, I want life to find a way. That's my problem. I need the Dr. Ian Malcolm effect on my life. I got that name right.
If you want a good effect on your life, they're not a sponsor of the show, but god damn it, I would do it for free. Screwball peanut butter whiskey is like, man. You know, we have those great ball trimmers. It's like the ball trimmers of whiskey. It's so good.
Yeah, I want to try it.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that sponsor on this show.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. We can do them a favor. Yeah,
This is liquid Manscaped right here. Oh, it is tremendous.
If you've always wanted to try Manscaped, but you need a discount code, use THPN, and that gets you 20% off and free shipping. But yeah, go to BoDpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Right at the top of the bar, if you are actually in need of some CBD materials and accessories and products, we have a link at the top of the website. So I'm doing like a Chris Jericho now. This is how he directs people to do stuff. You got to go to the Chris Jericho website, click on the Amazon link. But no, don't do that. Go to brothersofdiscussion.com or BoDpodcast.com. Mike, I can't hear you. I lost my earpiece. And at the top of the bar, you can get a link straight to CBD Medic, which is our affiliate and merchant partner, so you can get all of your CBD needs from CBD Medic. We have a buy two get one free deal that you can only get if you use the link at the top bar of our website. So if you guys need some help sleeping, need some help relaxing during these stressful times, it was honestly from my perspective something I picked because I thought this is what people need right now. So if you need that little extra discount to help you get your CBD items, there's so many things on there. You check it out, cbdmedic.com, but also use the bar at the top of our site and use the promo code BoD Podcast. BoD Podcast, obviously BoD spelled out.
My girlfriend's mom actually uses it. She has,
fantastic. Is she using her
link?
She
has osteoporosis, and it helps with the pain. So it's actually coming home. The benefits of this.
Tell her
product.
about that link, because
I did.
Oh, perfect. All right. With that, Mike, let's start talking about what I'm talking.
The biggest news of the year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's jump into this huge news.
Somebody finally took the belt off of Becky, and it was Becky's baby.
It was Seth Rollins' semen.
Oh, no. Talk about 3 months of goo. Becky Lynch is a mom. I know that we're ruining it and sullying it, but this was a beautiful moment on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, absolutely.
The way Becky came out, and she definitely looked a little crestfallen, but it's a necessary evil to give up that belt. It's got to be defended, and I don't think they could have picked a better person to hand it off to, as far as giving it to Asuka, who my God, she's just been hitting home runs basically every time she's been on TV with these crowdless environments.
Yeah,
she's been dancing. Her promos have been off the charts. She's been the most charismatic person in the company. And Matt, I mean, she's basically won everything now. Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown, NXT, Tag Team. She won the Survivor Series. She won the Royal Rumble. She won Money in the Bank. She's got everything. But the most important thing was not just that it was a deserving person, as far as Asuka being the one to, take the belt from Becky.
Yeah.
I think that genuine emotion that they got to share together, with Asuka's face kind of bugging out and, oh, congratulations! Then she comes and gives her that big hug. As far as the acting chops goes, and I think even dropping that, I think it was such an easy time to just use the real emotion of the moment. I think it was better with Asuka being in the ring. So whoever had that idea to not just have Becky go out there and have a soliloquy, that was good booking idea. Matt, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I know
you just made a baby, so.
Yeah, for Becky, my thoughts are she's heading into the most wonderful time of her life. And I think we're gonna talk more about Seth Rollins, but her and Seth are. I guess I relate more to Seth's situation. I didn't react the same way apparently Seth Rollins is. But I imagine Seth probably did more of what I did when I heard that my wife was pregnant, and God, that was like a 5:45 in the morning wake up, and like, what? Ah! And I just running around the bedroom, making out and rolling around on the bed, and then going, oh, should we be rolling you around on the bed?
Our bed's soft enough?
Yeah. But yeah, that was that that day I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I know they're getting ready to grab a lot more memories heading forward, and everything's starting to make sense of all the people bitching about Becky Lynch not defending her belt at Money in the Bank, and I just, this is one of the reasons why I don't very often, except when we know it's Brock Lesnar, who's not, he's not taking time off to take care of children. I guess you could make that argument, but
he could be taking care of baby cows. I know he doesn't have a farm.
But it's like Sami Zayn is another one who lost his Intercontinental title. And there's a lot of speculation about what's going on. Is that confirmed? Huh?
Is that COVID related?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is like, why? Let's let it happen. I think they're gonna put Sammy back in the spotlight when he comes back. I've heard mentions of Ramadan, but I don't know if that is.
I don't know about that
going on right now. Yeah, I saw it mentioned on Twitter, so that's. I'm just saying the point of me bringing that up is we don't know exactly what's going on, but that's why you don't want to just start trashing Becky because she wasn't on TV or wasn't wrestling, because there's a fabulous and fantastic and beautiful reason for it. Now, obviously we all wish Becky all the best. I think I'm pretty sure there's very few people out there who are going to come up with a different statement there. But Asuka, how about all of the bitching we've been doing in regards to her booking, and then you just went through that list of accolades and really things that have been given to her. It's a pretty impressive resume. Yeah, things that have been given to her by the writing team, by Vince McMahon, by this company. And, talks of her wanting to leave the company. Why? Like, she's been given the world. Now she's trusted to continue to carry the company after probably the most celebrated, definitely the highest revenue generating female superstar that the WWE has seen in a long time. Is going to be is going to be taking quite a few months off. So it just, well, I just want to say it should mean a lot to Asuka that, all right, we're stepping away from this, and you are who we're picking to take over. It's just, that alone could be enough to tell Asuka, like, you belong with this company, or at least they're doing enough to say they care about you. But everything else on top of that, it just...
Yeah, for sure. I just... Sometimes when the writing is really good, like, it can be so good that it's subtle. So for Becky to kind of mumble about, you're the one who actually beat me, Asuka, and it's true. And then just, why is Becky out there with the briefcase? And for her to open it, it was just these subtle little notes where I don't think anyone left Monday Night Raw. Like, everybody was super happy for Becky, but it also felt like this is super deserving for Asuka. So it just kind of felt like for both parties, they hit a home run. Asuka still can be a heel, her kind of heelish tendencies, but she still got to display that genuine emotion because, it's the man is having a fucking baby.
Yeah.
So it's, it's one of those things where there's nothing to complain about. Whoever put that whole segment together, they just did a really good job. So it's kind of fun when all this stuff kind of comes together.
Yeah, I'm proud of Bleacher Report not giving that segment an E like they've been doing recently. No, they gave it an A. Good job, Bleacher Report. That definitely. I mean, that to me it was an A+. But I mean, if you're gonna knock it down because there's realism, I don't know how that's not an A+ segment. Maybe because it doesn't move the story along or it's effortless. But whatever.
But as far as like the writing team putting together like a cohesive, elongated entity, man, I thought that Money in the Bank match was an A+. For them to like blend the women's and men's match together.
Oh, that was genius.
Kind of have those. They weren't really for me, but it just kind of helped break up the monotony of what it could have been. With like. The Doinks and the, oh God, what is his name? The preacher dude coming out of the bathroom. We had Laurinaitis out there. It's not that anybody was clamoring for those guys or was, oh, what a knee slapping moment. But I think it was just like choreographed so perfectly that it helped, kind of break up that tension. And there were serious moments. There were funny moments. There was, AJ couldn't get up because he couldn't lift the barbell that Otis had dropped on him. And then, AJ gets that Undertaker moment. And then, of course, there's a food fight.
I did joke on Twitter that, oh, thank God we got closure for AJ Styles and the Undertaker, which all that I was 100% kidding when I tweeted that out because that more or less just felt like we're never gonna give you closure on this. Fuck you, and just kept rolling. So I'm, God damn it. I mean, unless the Undertaker was in that room and he grabbed AJ and slammed the door and we didn't see AJ for the rest of the night, that would have been amazing. Like, to tell us, like, well, this story's not done yet, the Undertaker and AJ. But, we're here to say that Money in the Bank match was amazing, not to talk about the bad parts. But go ahead.
No, but, like, you bring up, that door closing, and that's when... WWE likes, dropping those little hints. So obviously it doesn't look like AJ and Undertaker are done. There's probably gonna be
I thought it
match,
meant the door, like the door's closed on this one.
I don't know.
Are they that smart?
Because they dropped that. They also put like, like AJ didn't bump into Baron Corbin at that time. He bumped into Alistair, who, he was rumored to be tag teaming with Undertaker at some point. That he's, he gets to come up like the dead man out of that, the prone crossed arm position to see the next Undertaker. I don't know. It's just those couple little nods that I don't, WWE doesn't have a lot of accidents. And I think that was definitely something that was planned there. But Matt, one thing before we talk about the finish was Vince McMahon with the big flex there. Hey, come on to my office. I want everyone to say I have a fucking dinosaur bone.
Yeah. That fucking T-Rex skull. God damn.
I know. It got me down a whole rabbit hole. Like, how do you obtain a Tyrannosaurus skull? And then it took me down a rabbit hole where I found out that Leonardo DiCaprio and Nicolas Cage were in bidding wars for dinosaur bones. And then I found out that like a T-Rex skull is only like $1 million.
Yep, only $1 million for that piece.
Like a mediocre, like a above average baseball player, I feel can like own a baseball skull.
You mean a T-Rex
a professional, skull. not like a
baseball player's skull
down at the park. No, a professional above average baseball player. Like, are there that many T-Rex skulls out there that many people own them?
I think
like $1 million.
I'm pretty sure the demand is just not high enough to bring that
really?
total
The
fast.
demand's I'm a T-Rex skull.
Yeah, but it's outside of your price range. Now you don't.
I would do a mortgage for that. You know, I'd
no, you
put
wouldn't.
a loan together. Are you kidding me? A fucking T-Rex? Can you imagine the flex?
No, they priced you out.
You know how many subscribers we'd get if we had a T-Rex skull in the back?
Well, they gotta see it first. They gotta tune in. We're just gonna have to run ads that are just the big. We should do. That's what I should have done. God damn it.
T-Rex flex.
Should have done a T-Rex skull. I actually have a T-Rex behind me. That's what I should have done.
Whoa! But hey, let's
keep on rolling.
To the finish. Alistair Black and Rey Mysterio were murdered by Baron Corbin, who just casually threw both of them off the roof of a high-rise building.
I really thought they could have used that with Alistair. I thought Rey was gonna leave. There's rumors Rey's leaving WWE, so I was like, oh, okay. See you later, Rey. Like, he's dead now. And then Alistair, I thought that would have been an opportunity to bring him into, like, the dead man persona, or give him more of a supernatural feel to his character instead of just, he likes skulls. But no, they both came back the next night. But I still love that they did that. At the time, when I watched it, like, before I knew how it was just going to be kind of thrown out the next night, but when it happened, I was so excited, and I was like, oh my god, 2 guys died tonight. Like, Baron Corbin should have to, like, go to jail. Like, Vince should be in trouble. Like, there were so many story opportunities wasted, but at the time, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved. If anyone was gonna commit a homicide, it was Baron Corbin. But man, the hijacking of the night was between was it AJ and Baron at the top of the ladder, and they fumble the briefcase.
Yep.
And Otis, Otis is our Money in the Bank winner.
Now, quick question: was Otis planned to be the winner? And in rehearsals,
did AJ drop it?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch, man! Not this idiot.
Otis catches it, and they're just like, change the graphic. Was Otis planned to be the winner, and in rehearsal, they couldn't get a ladder? Like, are his arms too short? Was there not a ladder strong enough to withhold the girth of another man and Otis? What's the thought here? Is it just he's not athletic enough to go up a ladder? Or his thighs, like, can he not get one leg around the other? And I've got huge fat thighs, so that's where this is coming from. Yeah,
I mean, the episode where we talk about Vince with the T-Rex skulls, I think Otis definitely has, like, really buff little T-Rex arms. So maybe it was kind of tough. Like, maybe the camera didn't look good, for him to kind of graze it with his fingertips kind of thing.
Or is it just that they wanted it to look like an accident that Otis won?
Yeah, that's what's kind of puzzling, right? Because that feeds into the Otis character that, he comes out, he's a fat guy, he does the caterpillar, he's always, oh yeah, and he's never talked to a woman before. That's kind of his storyline. And then he just happens upon a briefcase that falls from the sky. Matt, I guess that brings me to my hot take question. On a scale of, I don't know if you want to say CM Punk, Edge, or Daniel Bryan, but I named one of those three guys because they were all like upper echelon.
Yeah.
They took the briefcase, they ran with it, and then they, overcame the odds and defeated mega heavyweights to become champ. So on a scale of one of those gentlemen to Damien Sandow, how do you see this changing Otis's career?
Can I pick a superstar?
Absolutely.
I think we're gonna get a Dolph Ziggler moment. I think we're gonna have Otis hold on to that briefcase, and he's gonna be the Dolph Ziggler. Why? Because he's never getting another title, like another amazing title moment after this. And I love, obviously you and I love Otis to death. Yeah. But I can't imagine a world where Otis, like we said this a while ago, like he's made for the Titus and the R-Truth segments. Like he's a goofball, and he's good at telling those goofy stories. I can't imagine a world where he's becoming like the CM Punk, where it catapults him into a world where he's the longest reigning WWE champion of all time. And I love Otis, but I think if I had to go, is it going to be like a complete failure like Damien Sandow? No. But I think he is going to get his moment, and that's where I'm going to say if we're scaling it from Punk to Sandow, he's in the middle at Dolph Ziggler, where he gets to walk away with a career moment, but it is going to majorly change his career. I mean, think about a guy that's so far a career tag team, and now he's going to be a singles competitor. It's also affecting a whole nother superstar that's on the books in Tucky. So this does have some major implications for his career, for Tucky's, for the tag division, for heavyweights actually winning the title and moving forward. But I mean, put Dozovic in the ring with Brock Lesnar and or Roman Reigns, and do you see him walking out of there, or is this just a way to build up? Give him the title now, and forever you have an Intercontinental and a U.S. title contender. Yeah, which is good. It's good for Otis.
I mean, like,
it's disappointing, but good.
If you look at I hope it's not too wildly off the charts here, but
by the way, wonderful question to put a scale of Sandow.
You're gonna have to really,
Punk.
Man, if he becomes a champion, that means that they might be just saying goodbye to Tucky, and that what Otis is going to be doing from now on is hanging out with Mandy, who obviously they value a lot. They don't want to give her like gold, but she definitely gets a lot of microphone time. She's visually there a lot. I think she might be aesthetically the best looking person on either roster. So if she's going to start managing Otis and managing him to victory, I don't know. I think maybe they see that this is a product they can run with. This is a product that can sell some shirts. It's a product that I don't see it toppling Braun or especially Drew McIntyre at this time. But, if there's some shenanigans that can happen, and obviously if Braun or McIntyre is going to lose, it's just going to be a hellacious slobber knocker. And I can see after a defeat, Big Mac or Braun, pummeling the person who defeated them. And that's when our beloved Otis can swoop in and, kind of get a cheapie. But
I just don't want to see Mandy taking too much control in this relationship. I feel like Tucky might be needed to get the win, especially to make sure Otis is moving fast enough to get to the ring. But I don't know. It's hard to imagine too that situation where it actually does. It does happen.
I just he's such a goofball. It was a stunning victory. So first they gave the women Asuka, she's silly right now, but she's the most professional of all the women. She's the best fighter. She's the safest fighter. And then you give it to Otis, who, he wrestles safe when he does his power moves. I never wince or anything like that. I always feel like he takes care of his, his dance partners. But outside of, I don't know, maybe Otis going with all black gear and maybe his ceilings like a Kevin Owens type, it's it would be pretty shocking to see him hold the title. Then the guy he's going to defeat is not holding championship gold right now.
Oh, I like that makes a lot of sense. I want to keep on rolling though, Mike, because I can see my my baby girl starting to stir. So I'm yeah.
Let's give this 5 seconds, man. Orton and Edge are gonna have a wrestling match. Hot tag. What does that do for you?
No, it's just great because Edge is gonna be fighting again. I just thought it was funny that they said, you know, the way Orton puts it is like, oh yeah, how about this? We're going to do a real wrestling match. And what, like, how terrible would it be for Edge's return for him to go down in match number 2 to Randy? But I'm excited. I can't not be excited because, again, it's another Edge match with the announcements that crowds would be allowed in Florida, and if they can book it so that we can get a reaction for Edge. It's super selfish on my part, but if we're finding silver linings and different things, again, Edge and Orton still going at it. Again, Florida making the dumb decision to allow people into spaces. Silver lining, all of those mixed together, we get a reaction for an Edge entrance. Can
I just say, so like, I understand it being Florida because they're the dumbest state, but man, don't you wish it was like Philly or Chicago so we could get like a real reaction to some of these returns?
Yeah.
But I would watch Edge in a like a thumb war match. I don't care. I just want to see Edge on TV. Matt.
Yeah.
The other big news is Drew McIntyre. And I would just sandwich these two things together. He's going to start feuding with Baron Corbin. Good idea.
I love it. Yeah.
What do you think of that finish with Rollins? Because I thought that was an A+ from him.
Okay, so the match at Money in the Bank, I gave an A+ with in parentheses, I think I might have done, or like a dash. I did for a non-audience match. So we're talking quicker pace, less time focused around showing how much pain you've endured or how much of a struggle this match is to get the win or to take the loss. So for this new type of storytelling in ring, I gave it an A+. I really enjoyed it, and I even watched it on mute, so I missed even some of the banter going back and forth. But I unmuted to see what was going on when McIntyre approached Rollins. The handshake I thought was fantastic. I thought it was going to be... I love what they did with it. I thought that they were going to be flipping Rollins back into a face. But it looks like the result here is that... and this has been... Whenever I get really whiny and complainy on our show, it's because it feels like there's no real direction with the storytelling, and that they have meetings like 10 minutes, and it's a rushed meeting 10 minutes before Raw starts, and they're like, what's the opening segment? McIntyre, get out there! Like, it's felt like that for a while. But this felt like McIntyre is doing the handshake to continue to sell himself as the super baby face, and then Rollins takes it, and it results in this like guy who's and I hope they do this, but guy who's struggling to figure out like what's my life gonna be when I have a kid, and they haven't made that a point yet. I'm just saying it would be great if that did become part of it. But then, of course, he's mutilating Rey Mysterio on live TV because he's just so, like, lost in who am I? I thought I was leading this brand. I thought I was a messiah, but I can't win. I can't find a victory. So, you know, he shakes his hand. He shakes Drew McIntyre's hand because he's, you know, what's he gonna do? He lost again. But then that next night to have it kind of continue, that same lost look in his eyes, and then mutilating Rey Mysterio, which now it looks like maybe that's his sayonara to the WWE. But anyway, loaded question. How did I feel? I loved it. I love the match. I love what they're doing with Seth Rollins, and I love that Baron Corbin is on his way to lose to Drew McIntyre before SummerSlam.
Yeah, I just, again, not since I don't even feel bad about this comparison. When Stone Cold got screwed by WCW, and then he came over to WWF, and he was just And you're like, oh my God, that guy's really pissed off. And then you do these segments where he's supposed to be pissed off, and it just really worked because he's genuinely pissed off. That's how I feel watching Drew be the champion. Like, it's goddamn time for me to be champion. This goddamn what is supposed to be right here. And he's got the perfect expression. There's no acting. It's like, I should be the goddamn main event. I should be winning these matches. And I'm not even a total dick about it. I'll still shake your hand after. Because all I wanted was to be champion and to shake your hand for a good contest. It's just like, this is what our world champion's supposed to look like. If you're upset with Drew McIntyre, just fucking stop watching wrestling. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. This guy's knocking it out of the park. He looks great with Andrade. He looked great with the rest of... I almost called him AAA wrestling because he got Austin Theory, Angel Garza, Andrade. I don't know who did that. That was like yeah.
Just a nod to AAA. Mike, yeah. I'm going to have to make a request that we jump into our Wednesday Night Wars because, again, I got to run and get baby girl. All right, so I think we both watched AEW. I just finished watching NXT on my DVR, so or my DVR on demand. What the hell am I? What am I? Fucking old man. My DVR. You don't need to DVR things anymore.
Hey, give us moment number 3 from All Elite Wrestling.
All right, number 3. I'm gonna go. All right, it's so. God damn it. It's so hard to pick. All right, number 3, I'm going to go with Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega going over Santana and Ortiz. I love that match. It was... That, again, like, I think I got into a quick argument on Twitter about enjoying, like, when these wrestlers are having fun, and I was trying to make some arguments about the Money in the Bank and how it's, you know, like, these guys were excited to do that. This... looks like Santana and Ortiz and Matt and Kenny Omega were just having a blast in the ring. And this, I guess it escalated, but the Inner Circle versus the Elite is nowhere near being done. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is a great opportunity to continue that story and to put Kenny Omega in another, premier tag match. And I thought this was an amazing stat. I like how they throw out stats on AEW. The second tag match for Santana and Ortiz this year. But if there's any match I encourage you to go back and watch, I'd pick that tag match because there are a lot of squashes. God, it's so hard to pick like a top 3 moment because I think what I'm going to miss on this, Mike, is Brody and Moxley going at it at the end of the night because I did hate Brody struggling so much against Christopher Daniels. And then MJF, even though he had a fantastic segment and he's challenging Marco Stunt next week, just classic heel stuff going against the smallest guy in the company. It's still, there's so many other great things that happen in this episode. So I have to nitpick at MJF getting a squash win and Brody getting a squash win so that they don't make it into my top 3. But I still love those segments. Number 3, Hardy, Omega over Santana and Ortiz. Mike, you're number 3.
Well, I think we give NXT a lot of grief for not being super fun. They try to just pack 90 minutes of wrestling, sandwich with some commercials, and they actually took some time to have a little fun here with Undisputed Era.
Yeah, that was great.
They had Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly check in on Zoom, and then there's Bobby Fish, and then it's the original Undisputed Era. Yep, just the 3 original guys. Oh, there's Roddy Strong. Hey, it's kind of cute to see that. And for
to me, I thought that would have been a great opportunity to start showing that, maybe Roddy's headed out or something like that. Like have them do like a good old boys. And then Roddy shows up and they're like, oh, Roddy's here. Awesome.
Well, it was kind of funny that they all like, all right, let's vote. Who's going to fight Dexter Loomis? 1, 2, 3. Roddy Strong. Hey! And it was, unanimous. So I think that might tie into like the OGs don't have to fight, but somehow they all voted for Roddy to go do it. So I think that they're very aware of that he's the new guy, and I think they like dropping those just a little figment. for you to think about, something to chew on for later. But they're doing so well together, and I don't want Roddy to get lost in the shuffle. So, and neither do you. We love seeing him in that faction there. So that was fun. The only other thing I would say is like to kind of tie for third was the Karrion Kross had another really good promo where they're doing these kind of dark, shadowy angles. They have Scarlett Bordeaux, who's now just goes by Scarlett, just kind of looking up at the camera, and you're like, ooh, like you get chills, but also you feel blood rushing to places of your body. Like it's really exciting stuff, man. So the promo work was pretty good this week on NXT. Matt, moment number 2 for AEW.
I'm gonna go with Lance Archer and Jake the Snake kicking off AEW.
Not Jim Ross saying all women dislike each other.
God damn, he's got to go. Jesus.
I know.
Christ.
You talk about the yin and yang for Jerry the King Lawler. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Yeah, they were a perfect pair. Now that we think about it. But yeah, Cody rolling in on his truck to take out Lance Archer, and Jake the Snake handling, what he did last week and kind of talking about it like, I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just, it kind of felt like a statement to Cody and a statement to people freaking out about it on Twitter. That segment started out fantastic, and then having Cody roll in, and this definitely told me that I had a bad, what do I want to say? Like the wrong idea of Lance Archer. Cause I thought he would look really dominant over Cody, but this told me cause Jake pulled Lance away. This told me that this is going to be a more even bout, but I think they're really selling this as like pure evil and good. And, I think evil's going to win. And I just love when they tell that story and you're really starting to see Cody like kick back, and obviously who wouldn't, based on what happened to Brandy last week. But, yeah, there's no way. I don't know. The deeper they get into telling the Lance Archer story and the more evil they look, there's no way Cody's winning. I think Lance has to win and Cody has to go down, even though that's, the bad new guy comes in and gets a win over a big guy. I don't know. It kind of killed TNA because they kept doing that when they were bringing in new guys, and then they would try to get them over, and then their old guys would just look worse and worse and worse. So it's not a winning formula, but I do think Lance is one of the guys to pick to go over here. But yeah, I do. Damn it. Maybe we shouldn't pick nap times anymore. But you're number 2, Mike, for NXT.
Number 2, I'm going to do Imperium taking the NXT Tag Team Championship.
Oh, God, yes. I love that match.
Yeah, Marcel and Fabian, it's not like this is anything new from them. All they do is put on stellar performances. Yep. Marcel with the, Fabian with
Or as I like to put it, Marcel and Bartel. So...
No, we save that for Danny and Oni and Lord.
Oh, I do it every which way. I do it for both.
Fabian is one of my favorite guys who he's like super compound. Like it's almost like if Taz could be a high flyer. Like that's what he looks like to me. So I think the belts are in the right spot. They're on an actual tag team. Not just a couple of dudes who are slapped together haphazardly. I think the breaking up of Thatcher and King of Bros was a little soft, but I think this was, mostly just a segment to let's get a real tag team involved. And then we want to build Thatcher, who, if you squint, it's kind of like, is that Jon Moxley? They look identical to me. So I think they're going to start building him up in a little bit of a solo run here. And who better than to go, face to face with then the King of Bros, Matt Riddle. Matt, number 1 moment on AEW. What do you got for us?
Mike, it's combined. It was so emotional. It starts with Chris Jericho taking down Pineapple Pete. Nothing like hearing Chris Jericho yelled at 1,000 times. He's made for the in ring. Like him, I'm sure if we saw more of Kevin Owens, that would be a great, I don't know why we see so little of Kevin Owens, but there's names that come to mind where during the match it just works perfectly. I've been critical of Chris Jericho's promos without an audience, but in the middle of the ring where he's just throwing out those snarky little comments, he's perfect. Now, the sad part is the death of Vanguard 1, and I think I like this segment for what happened on Twitter afterwards was, so this is obviously pre-recorded because Matt Hardy had a ton of photos of him saying goodbye to Vanguard 1 and being sad and dealing with his loss. It sold, I guess they might be trying to sell like that, the paranormal side of, and again, paranormal's not like, it's just above the normal. Right. So it can still fit with Matt Hardy and his crazy characters. But his paranormal side of his character is that he's immediately tweeting out the loss of Vanguard 1 and how sad he is instead of treating it like he's got to go back to the locker room or anything like that. But all of that combined, and of course this continues the storyline of the Elite versus the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
It does. I guess we know what's going on with the AEW Championship, so this makes sense to have these two huge factions going at it, and it's good now that they got that championship away so that these factions can just duke it out. It did feel, I don't know, I guess we got to wait and see how everything pans out, because I think this was good that now it's just about these two factions duking it out. But I do miss that aspect of a title being involved, because it kind of takes away from some of the strength of the Inner Circle. But you know, we'll see how this goes. I love this segment so much, and it was tough. Like, you could go either way with this segment or the Cody segment. And like I said, what I left off, now that I'm looking at my notes here, I mean, I didn't even bring up Jurassic Express versus the Best Friends and watching Orange Cassidy get his head kicked off.
Oh, God, that was awful.
This whole episode of AEW...
He's beautifully executed, but my beloved Orange Cassidy, he got annihilated.
and like, even ending the show with Brody on a squash and then Moxley, or what should have been a squash, I'm sorry, that's what I didn't like about it. And Christopher Daniels is not one on my book to like put in 5-star matches. I'm probably gonna get. He put
up like he looked like William Regal out there. He looked good.
Yeah, he's solid. And he's been around for a while. I
know what you mean. You don't want to see Brody Lee look beatable this early.
Right.
Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, like I said, I think even my top 3 are interchangeable. But I'm going with this being number 1 because you get to interact with it online with Matt Hardy, and I think that's an element that they need to take advantage of more now that these shows are continuing to be pre-recorded. But Mike, you're number 1 for NXT.
Yeah, kind of like what you did with the Inner Circle. You know, they had multiple segments. I gotta say, Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle. Like the build, it was you know, it was funny for these empty arena shows. It was a lot like going to a bingo hall and watching like a low grade wrestling show, where whatever happened in the beginning, you know, it was part of the beginning of that story, and then we saw a little bit in the middle where Riddle and Thatcher would call each other out and beat each other up in the locker room. And we got a payoff match at the end of the show. So like successful like self-contained wrestling promotions, they get you interested, they get you vested to stay till the end and see the big payoff. I thought they did this, and then they still made it so you want to see what happens next week, because while Riddle got, you know, kind of a roll-up win, Thatcher essentially, you know, it was snapping his arm. So, you know, Thatcher arguably still looked, you know, dominant.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're able to, you know, build Imperium, you know, because they defeated the two of them to become champions. You're able to, you know, prop up Riddle because he won again, and you still get to prop up Thatcher because he was able to break, you know, Matt Riddle. So it's just if you don't have the entire roster at your disposal and you gotta, you know, do what you can. You know, these two guys dominated the show, and I think they helped, you know, the trajectory of 3 different wrestling entities. So it was,
we got the best line of the night came from Matt Riddle too. I just want to throw that in there when he was video chatting with William Regal, and he said, "I can't thank you again. Thank you again." he was supposed to say, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you enough, yeah.
But I love that the show's pre-recorded, and they still kept that in there. Oh, God. Should we do another take? Nah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. It's probably tough with the Thatcher beating coming right after that, but man, that was hilarious. All right, so overall winner, I'm picking AEW again now that I have watched both shows, but I do like everything that you said about NXT doing a better job. Like, keep somebody interested in the show by doing a storyline that actually has a beginning, middle, and end in one episode, which is pretty nice. They are doing, they're trying some different stuff. Love the Zoom conversation with Undisputed Era. They are trying different stuff with like Gargano. Hated that segment, but at least they're trying something different. And, for AEW, I think it's just more of the same. And for most of their show, they're in front of the hard camera. So they're not taking too many liberties on like location and things like that. And it's still easily the better show for me. All right, Mike, any final words before I tell everybody where to find us?
If only that I really enjoyed the first episode of The Last Ride, that Undertaker documentary, but like they gave us that teaser like a month ago of what was to come, and it felt like this one kind of rehashed a lot of what was previewed in that one. So I feel like we got to wait till episode 2, 3, 4, and 5 to kind of get some more intimate, in-depth information about Mark Callaway. But they're setting the stage for how let down he was in himself, how angry he was in himself at his performance against Roman Reigns, and how badly he wanted to get back in the ring and show that wasn't his last hurrah, that he's got more left in the tank. But like seeing Mark behind the scenes, and
definitely
Stone Cold just, man, he won't touch some bitch, I'll tell you what.
I definitely got to check that out. But if you want to check out the rest of Brothers Discussion stuff, go to BoDpodcast.com, brothersdiscussion.com. We are on Apple, Spotify, Google Play. We now have our show weekly on YouTube. You can go to Anchor and find all of our shows. It's anchor.fm/Brothers of Discussion. We're on Overcast, Radio Public, Stitcher. We needed some Stitcher Premium stuff soon. We go on IGTV every week. So everywhere you can find content, that's where the Brothers of Discussion are. Start at BoDpodcast.com. Continue with at BoD Podcast on Twitter, at brothers_of_discussion on Instagram. And one last plug, if you are looking for some CBD products, go to BoDpodcast.com. Click on the bar right at the top of the screen, and you will be taken right to CBDmedic.com, where you can get a buy two, get one free for your CBD products. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.
Oh, yeah!